Really good win, really cool win. One of those games that the weather had an impact, I think, on both teams, and just kind of made it one of those grinded out meat and potato games, where both teams had to run the ball, and both defenses knew it, and it was just really cool. And we went in the locker room and just talked about fixing a few things and going out and executing in the second half, and this has been a pretty reoccurring theme for us of coming out in the third quarter and playing good football and executing offensively better than we did in the first half, making the proper adjustments, and thought we were able to do it. Found some plays in the passing game, and the end of the day, it was a great win. I thought our defense, nice bend but don't break against a really good running football team, and found a way to win.
What were those adjustments?
Specifically from half one to half, you mentioned some changes you made.
Well, we just had to clean some things up in the formations that we thought were effective for us. We went into a couple of 2 tight end sets with Perkins and Austin into the boundary there, and found a little bit of a running game, but then found the big play pass to get Austin down the middle. There was a really big, Kasem had 2 big third down conversions of plays that we talked about at halftime that we liked on third down. The one down the middle of the field, and then the comeback on our boundary sideline. We were getting some man-free stuff to get him one-on-one in the corners. And then obviously we were running the ball well enough, and we were just trying to find the right time to take that shot with Kevin Smith down the middle of the field. So it was really good communication amongst the staff, and then ultimately the players knowing why we were doing what we were doing.
Is 40 carries kind of pushing the limits of what you want to do with
That's
them?
why he had 4 last week. People want to know why he only had 4 last week, we knew coming into the game both teams were going to go fast. We knew coming into the game both teams wanted to run the football. I don't know how many Kadeem Carey had. Bishop had 40. I guess Kadeem had 30. I was happy that we got what we got out of Jesse, and Jesse was really effective late in the game. Got to try to get Dwayne Washington going more than we are. We have been. The weather kind of forced our hand a bit in the way we had to play the game. And I don't know exactly what our run to pass ratio was, but 61 rush attempts, somebody's got to carry the ball. I don't know if that would have been the ratio if we had better weather, but you play the hand you're dealt, and those were the conditions that we had. And Bishop was awesome. He didn't change. His focus was there. His body language didn't change from the first carry to the last one.
With as many plays as you guys run, though, how hard is that to kind of find that balance?
Well, I think it's critical for us, and again, I think we're getting, we'll continue to get more out of Jesse. He's been impressive. He's really starting to get better and better and better. We saw it there late in the ball game, so we'll probably implement him more early on. We need to find that third guy, and we need to get Dwayne's confidence back, and we need to get Coop kind of really taking that next step too. So, but again, I don't know if we're going to have another game this year where we rush the ball 61 times, and that's a lot of rush attempts. But to Keith's credit, Keith ran the ball pretty good for us tonight too, and that was effective.
What stood out defensively in particular, and anyone in particular?
It was a little frustrating in that we were trying to wait them out, and we're good at that. Our guys are really good at it. We just kind of knew they were going to ground and pound, and want to make sure we tackled and not give up the big play, which we really did tonight in the running game. They hit 2 plays on us, the quarterback run there that got them down to the 1, and then the wheel route to Kadeem out of the backfield that, gosh, I think if we could have it back, whether Justin would, I don't know if he'd change the call, or if we just wish we played it better. We didn't execute it great. But all in all, it was just kind of a bend but don't break performance by the defense against an offense that we knew was capable of big plays. And I thought we limited that. I thought our defensive line, we rotated a lot of guys again tonight. We did a really good job of hanging in there. And then, we got 2 turnovers. The 2 interceptions were big. And when you win the turnover battle, you give yourself a chance to win.
Steve, what did you think of the PI on the other sideline on Ukraine?
I didn't see it great from my vantage point. I thought Greg played it pretty good. I'm glad it didn't hurt us worse. We got off the field. I think that drive. I don't believe they scored that drive exactly. But again, we got some penalties late in the game that I'm gonna leave it at that.
You cleaned it up though from last week.
Oh, we were great when the game mattered, and then we started picking them up there late, but, our kids played hard, they played really hard. Again, we didn't have the pre-snap penalties, on offense, which I think is important. We weren't jumping off sides. We got one substitution penalty on defense where we were trying to sub a D lineman. They did a good job of tempoing us and catching us with 12 guys on the field. We got one pre-snap penalty, and then a second one on a legal formation that we line up in the same formation all night, and then the last time we did, they called us for an illegal formation. So I'll look at the film and try to figure out what happened.
You talked about the halftime adjustments, then you opened the half that you're on 5. How important was getting out of getting a 95-yard drive right off the bat?
It was huge. I thought it was a great drive by our offense, and there was good mix, run and pass at the time. We had two, to touch on the penalties before I get into that drive, we had 2 penalties on kickoff that we can't afford to have. And we need that, if you talk about cleaning stuff up, those 2 are huge. We had 2 blocking the backs on kickoffs that we have to fix, and we have to fix next week because we can't expect our offense to go 95 yards consistently. That's a hard thing to do. But that being said, that was a tremendous drive by the offense, and I think that it was keyed by a couple big 3rd down conversions, and then ultimately punching it in there. I believe that was I think that was a touchdown pass from Keith to Austin. I'm not exactly sure the finishing touches on that drive, but all in all, the guys executed the drive, and we had good balance in that drive. We weren't one-dimensional, and at times tonight, weather permitting, we got a little bit one-dimensional offensively. We were just kind of ground and pound and running the ball. That drive, I thought we had good balance, and we were mixing things up, and that's when we were at our best.
I believe you had just 1 third down on that drive as well. Was there something you were trying to get to on that drive in particular to get going out of the break?
No, there was a couple formations that we liked, and again, the one key point to it was the kind of 2 tight end set into the boundary with Austin and Josh Perkins. We felt like that was a formation that could be effective for us, not just running it, but throwing it. We had the big pass down the middle to Austin, I believe, on that same drive. I just felt like we executed better. I mean, we got in the locker room, we got to the guys, and we didn't panic, and we said, hey, this is what we're going to go out and do. These are the types of plays we're going to run. Are you guys okay with the way they're lining up and where they're, and the guys were great about it. And they didn't play it really well, that was the deal.
You got a tough stretch coming up, beginning next week. How do you feel about where your team is going into this next stretch?
I feel awesome. We've never been 4-0, since I've been here, so that's pretty cool. But work obviously is not done, but we're accomplishing things that we haven't done before. There's the old coaching adage of one game at a time mentality, and I really think this team understands that. We talked about it already in the locker room about the process of getting prepared for next week's ball game, which we know that's a very good football team. But we can't worry about Stanford so much as the information that Stanford gives us, and then we prepare off of the information that they give us. So as I touched on, the process for us this week starts a little bit earlier because we get a chance. Those guys are in the locker room right now already watching that game on the TVs in there. So they're excited about the opportunity. It's a chance to go 2-0 in conference play, which I think is really important. And we know Stanford will be ready to play. It'll be a great game to be part of.
You talked to Bishop ahead of time about you're going to have to take this because of weather, or is it just circumstance?
No, it was just circumstantial. The weather in the first half, I don't know if I've been part of a game like that. I've been in games when there's been rain. I've been in games when there's been wind. The combination of the 2 tonight, that was as much as we've seen, and we just try to, no pun intended, weather the storm of what was there. And he's a really good player. He's a heady player. He's got great ball security, and you don't have to talk to Bishop a whole lot. He's not going to change if you talk to him anyway. He's just going to do what he does. He's got a great mentality about the game and the way he approaches the game, and I think that's what makes him so unique. I think Shaq played well. A lot of balls that when they were running their inside zone and the zone read game, they put a real emphasis on our outside linebackers and the calls that we were making. So imperative that we won inside and with Danny Shelton and Evan Hudson. And then it was critical that those outside backers, they had a lot of dual responsibilities. They were playing, if the ball was given, they had to fall back in and make the tackle on the backs. If the quarterback kept it, we were counting on them to jump back outside and then rally and force the quarterback to the perimeter. So I thought Shaq was probably one of his better games, if not his best game this season for us. And that's a good thing. That means we're improving as a football team.
Sark, when you